محمد والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين المنتخبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. ورحمة الله على أحبابهم وأصحابهم وشيعتهم ومواليهم أجمعين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم وظالميهم ملعونين من يوم عداوتهم وظلمهم إلى أبد الآبدين. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, before I start my speech, there has been a request for dua. There is a cancer patient in India by the name of Samir Baqiri who has asked for a special dua. He is undergoing surgery as we speak. He's a 30-year-old mu'min who has two very young children, and I'm sure you have many of other mu'mineen and friends and relatives out there who need du'as as well. So before we start the program, with the barakah of this aza and this program for Abu Abdullah, inshallah, we will recite Amma Yujib 5 times for all these mu'mineen who have requested dua, especially this mu'min. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ 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 أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. اللهم اشف كل مريض بحق الحسين المظلوم الشهيد. اللهم اشف كل مريض بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Yesterday we were discussing a narration from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, in which we discussed that he and his father Imam Muhammad al-Baqir salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi walked into Masjid al-Nabawi, and they saw between the minbar and the qabr of Rasulullah a group of people, and Imam al-Baqir comes close to them and he says, Inni wallahi uhibbu rihakum wa arwahakum, that wallah, I love your fragrances and I love your arwah. I love smelling the fragrance that comes from you, and I love looking at your souls. So we established that yesterday, that how this fragrance can be achieved and how the soul can become so beautiful in its core that even the Imam of our time, when looks at us, he falls in love with that soul. For us to matter in hereafter, it is important that we look after our souls. We make sure that our souls are not in weak and frail conditions, but they are in a good condition, in a healthy condition, and emitting different beautiful, pleasant fragrances. This is important. The next thing that Imam says after saying Inni wallahi uhibbu rihakum wa arwahakum, he says walakin a'inuni ala dhalika biwara'in wa ijtihad, that you should help me by keeping your souls beautiful as they are and lovable as they are, by walking the path of taqwa, piety, and ijtihad, and continuous effort. Continuous effort. Meaning, like we discussed yesterday, that we are only humans. And we make errors and we make mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes unknowingly and sometimes we commit them knowingly. We commit sins unknowingly and we commit sins knowingly. This is something that we do. We have our own urges, we have our own desires, we have our own flaws. All these things are in there, in this whole package. It is very hard to protect yourself from the evil that lurks out there, the evil that awaits you out there, and when you are not looking and you are not aware or you are not ready, that evil pounces at you in different ways. But the way we look at that is, it feels pleasant to our eyes to look at a non-mahram. It is pleasant on our ears to listen to haram music. We love McDonald's and KFC and all the other fast foods, and if there is no halal fast food joint out there, and you just miss the taste of it, you go and you eat that haram anyway. That is for the ladha of, it will taste amazing. It will be haram, it will taste amazing. The ladha for what? For your tongue, for yourself. So these ladhat, these pleasant feelings that you have from haram, these affect or benefit your own body. And at the same time, it attacks your soul in the most horrific manner. You might be listening to music, but in reality, your soul is being torn apart. Your soul is being torn apart. You look at someone, it's very pleasant to your eyes, but in reality your soul is going blind. You eat haram, na'udhu billah, ya Allah, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. You eat something haram, it makes your body might feel healthy. It's okay, it's okay, let him play, it's okay. Your body might feel healthy. But what happens? Your soul becomes hungry and weaker. This is what we established yesterday. So Imam says, وَلَكِنْ أَعِنُونِي عَلَى ذَلِكَ. You need to maintain this beauty of your souls. Beauty of your. If Imam says that this is my brother, this is someone that I love, there is a possibility that that person tomorrow will not be someone who Imam loves because of his a'mal. There is a person who stands there, Imam comes and says, this person has a beautiful soul. Now he thinks he's satisfied. Oh, Imam has given me this stamp that I have a beautiful soul, I don't need to worry about anything. He goes and he, na'udhu billah, indulges in something that is haram. And what happens? The next day, his soul is not as beautiful as he had thought. So Imam gives them this title. Imam gives them this award by saying that inni wallahi uhibbu rihakum wa arwahakum. At the same time, he wants them to be aware that tomorrow it might change. So he says, وَأَعِنُونِي عَلَى ذَلِكَ بِوَرَعٍ وَاجْتِهَادٍ. Maintain this state. If it changes, it should change only for the better, not for the worse. بِوَرَعٍ وَاجْتِهَادٍ. Piety, taqwa. Stay away from muharramat, do all your wajibat, if possible, maybe some of the mustahabbat. And then, ijtihad, continuous effort. Sometimes what happens is we commit sin and we give up. I have protected my eyes for so long. For a whole year I haven't seen anyone. I protected myself, and all of a sudden what happens is, for some reason, you give in to the temptation and you look at someone. You give in to the temptation and you look at someone. You say, for the whole year I tried and I was successful for the whole year, and now all of a sudden one look and I'm back to square one. This is disappointing for that person. The despair, the discouragement that he feels on the inside, he says, you know what, I don't care anymore. It's too hard. So I don't care. And this is just one example. And there are many other examples of the sins that I cannot even mention here. They're happening out there. People protect themselves from those sins for quite a long period, and at the end something happens and they give in. For once. When they do give in, they're satisfied. Their body is satisfied, but the mind goes back to square one, saying that all this effort that I made, it was for nothing. That thought is not your thought. That is the thought of a devil. لا تيأس من روح الله. Do not lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word ijtihad refers to that point, that if you fall, get up and keep moving forward. This is not the end of the world. You have not died. Your life has not ended. It is still going. Even after your sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided for you to live on in this world. Why? So you can just keep on committing sins and be disappointed in yourself and discouraged from the good that you were doing, not realizing that every second that this person spent staying away from sinning was being counted as a good deed. You slip, it happens. You need to get up. Istighfar is a huge thing. There is a person who performed the ibadat of 100 years in the mountains, 100 years. Nabi Musa goes to him and he says to Nabi Musa that you are going to Kohitur, Mount Sinai. Yes. Ask Allah, I have been worshipping Him for 100 years. What is the worth of my ibadat? What reward do I have for this ibadat, these ibadat? Nabi Musa goes away. All of a sudden his ration finishes, and now he has to go fill up water and get some food. What happens is his place is close to the stream that runs close by. He starts walking, and all of a sudden he just keeps walking and walking, and he doesn't know what happened, but he's lost. there is no water, he is thirsty, there is no food, he is hungry, he is about to die. For a long time he looks for water, he cannot find water, he feels that he's gonna die, and all of a sudden he sees someone come towards him and he has this canteen with him, which seems to be full of water. He asks, "Can I have a glass of water?" And the person says, "Yes, you may, but what are you gonna give me for it?" He says, "I have nothing. All I've been doing is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these mountains. I have nothing of my own. All I have are my years of ibadat." That person says, "Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. How about you give me your ibadat of 100 years, I'll give you one glass of water." He says, no. He says, "Okay, no water for you." He starts to move. He says, no, wait, come back. "How about half a glass and I give you 50 years? How about half a glass and I'll give you 50 years? He says, "Okay." He fills up half a glass, gives it to him. He drinks. The thirst does not go away. He says, "You know what? I can perform more ibadat if I'm alive. If this person goes away, I will have no water. If I can have just half a glass more, I can make it to the water somewhere." He asks, "Okay, I'll give you 50 more. Give me half a glass. Give me another half a glass." He says, "Okay, here's your half a glass. And you have one glass of water and your ibadat of 100 years are mine." Fine. Then he goes back to his place, finds water, goes back to his place, and Nabi Musa comes. And he asks Nabi Musa, and Nabi Musa says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent a message for you. So what is that? He says, "Your ibadat, all of them are worth one glass of water. You tell me, how many glasses of my water have you been drinking ever since you were alive? Ever since you were born? How much of my food have you eaten? How much of my water have you drunk? How many of my ni'mat and my blessings have you enjoyed while you were in this world? Clearly you have been worshipping me for 100 years. You have lived for more than 100 years. All these years you have been enjoying the blessings that I have bestowed upon you. What do you think you can do to equal that?" He realizes his mistakes and he throws himself again back to ibadat. All he does is tawbah. "Ya Allah, forgive me, I was mistaken to even think that way." Oh, to make you the person who refrains from evil doing for a year slips once after a year and loses all hope. This is someone who has done ibadat for 100 years in the mountains nonetheless. And he slipped after 100 years and literally lost all his ibadat, gave away, with his own hands he gave away all his ibadat. This is a person who should lose hope. He throws himself back on the sajada in the form of sajda. He goes, "Ya Allah, inni atubu ilayk, I return to you, forgive me, I have made a mistake." Nabi Musa receives a message, "Go tell this worshipper that he had given away his ibadat of 100 years, but now because he has sought forgiveness from me and done his tawbah, repented, I, Allah, will grant him ibadat of 1,000 years. Inna Allah yuhibbu tawwabin. You are a sinner. You're not liked by Allah. The moment you become a tawwab, a ta'ib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He say? Yuhibbu tawwabin. You become a habib of Allah. You become a mahbub of Allah. So, get up and keep moving forward. Repent, move forward. Repent and move forward. Recite aloud salawat. I seem to have lost your attention. What is happening? 7:42. I think that's enough. You guys are you sick of me yet? Okay, maybe 10 more minutes and then we can end up in this speech. ولكن أعينوني على ذلك بورع واجتهاد. And then he says, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ وِلَايَتَنَا لَا تُنَالُ إِلَّا بِالْوَرْعِ وَالْإِجْتِهَادِ. That our wilayah cannot be approached, cannot be reached without wara' and ijtihad, without taqwa and continuous effort. So we understand one point. Wilayah is not something that will come to you. It has to be approached by you. You need to get up, work for it, and reach the wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Just saying Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah, it's a good thing. You should say that, and you should say that all the time. But just saying that is not enough. Al-ilmu ma'ahu al-amal. Ad-da'wa ma'ahu ad-dalil. You have knowledge, it will benefit you if there is amal with it. You have a claim that you are a follower of Amir al-Mu'mineen, it is worth nothing if you cannot provide evidence like we discussed yesterday. La tunalu, the people who know Arabic, tunalu, this is passive voice. Tunalu, it needs to be approached, cannot be approached, cannot be reached. La tunalu illa bil wara' wal ijtihad. You have to exercise taqwa and continuously keep trying to do good and protect yourself. And the narration goes on, inshallah. If anybody desires this narration, inshallah, I can share with you. Every sentence is so deep that it needs to be discussed in detail, and every sentence in itself requires the whole speech. He says next that أنتم السابقون الأولون وأنتم السابقون الآخرون. In this world you are the first one. In the next world you will be the first one. Meaning in this world you are the first one to show mahabbah and love towards us. On the day of judgment you will be the first one who will enter Jannah. And then he says, Antum Shi'atullah. Antum Shi'atullah. You are not just the Shia of Ali or Shia of Fatima or Shia of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Says, Antum Shi'atullah. You are the Shias of whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if it weren't for you. Next he narrates a sentence of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says that Amir al-Mu'mineen said to Qambar, his servant Qambar, he says, Abshiru وَبَشِّرُوا. Glad tidings to you, congratulations to you, Qambar, and tell other Shi'as and my followers glad tidings to them. On what, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen? Says, when Rasulullah left this world, he was not happy with anyone except the Shia of Ali. Except the follower of Ali, he was not happy with anyone. And then he refers, Amir al-Mu'minin refers to Surah Al-Ghashiyah. وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ خَاشِعَةٌ عَامِلَةٌ نَاصِبَةٌ. These faces on the day of judgment will be tired and weary, who have been working continuously. They will only look tired and they will only look weary. And they will be asked, who are these people? These are people who performed a lot of a'mal, but with the wrong aqidah. They worshipped a lot, but with the wrong belief. To anyone who walks the path that leads them somewhere other than Ali ibn Abi Talib, they are only tiring themselves, knowing they should knowingly walk the wrong path. So the topic goes on and on and on, inshallah. I leave it to you to discuss amongst yourself, inshallah. Recite aloud salawat. When she entered Kufa, the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Zainab Kubra, when she entered Kufa, the narrations say, قَدْ لَبِسَتْ أَرْذَلَ ثِيَابِهَا. She was wearing the shabbiest of all clothes, just so that no one would recognize her. But that didn't help so much. There is a lady standing on the roof. Everybody was gathered in the streets of Kufa as per ordered by Ibn Ziyad La'in. There was a lady standing on the roof, and she looks down to these captives who were brought in Kufa, and she says that I noticed a lady on the back of the camel with no hijab, no chadar. I look at this mu'azzama, and she has a small girl in her lap. And the girl, every now and then the girl, continuously, repeatedly, this girl turns around and she says, Al-Atash, 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 I need water, I am thirsty, I need water. I looked at this lady and she looked familiar, and I noticed that she looked so familiar to the daughter of my Mawla Amir al-Mu'mineen. My heart exploded at that time, and I had to ask her. I screamed, oh lady, you have broken my heart into pieces. Please tell me who you are. Please tell me what your name is. And she says, Ana Zaynab bint Ali. I am Zaynab, the eldest daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And look over there, the head on that spear over there, and that is Sayyid al-Shuhada, your Imam al-Hussein. They killed him in Karbala, they slaughtered him while he was thirsty for 3 days. She gives a khutbah. There is a person who is standing in his house, and he says that I heard a sound out there. someone was giving a speech, and I focused, and I was almost certain that this is the sound of Amir al-Mu'mineen. I ran out of the house. I rushed towards this voice. I ran and reached this opening where everybody was gathered, and I started to look who was the one who was giving speech, and I noticed there was someone standing up at the top. I looked that it was not Ali ibn Abi Talib. This was Zainab Kubra, scolding the people of Kufa like a big king, like a royal king would scold his subjects. She was saying, Ya Ahl al-Kufa, Ya Ahl al-Khatl wal-Ghadr, what have you done? Everybody gives speech. Kulthum gives speech. Fatima Kubra, salamullahi alayhin, gives speech. Imam Zainul Abidin even talks for a little while as well. And then they are taken to the court of Ibn Ziyad. What is happening in the court of Ibn Ziyad? Before they reach there, Ibn Ziyad has the head of Imam al-Hussein Madlum right at his feet down there. And he has a cane in his hand. And he looks at the head of Imam al-Hussein and he smiles, and then he hits the lips of Imam al-Hussein, and then he opens up the lips of Imam al-Hussein with his cane and strikes the teeth of Imam al-Hussein. He says, "Oh Hussein, how beautiful are your teeth, oh Hussein." There is a companion of Rasulullah standing in this court. His name is Zayd bin Arqam. He says, "You have no shame, Yabna Marjana, you have no shame. What are you doing? I have seen Rasulullah kiss Hussein in the very place that you are striking with cane with these own eyes, and he has not done it once. He would do it repeatedly in his life. Countless times he has kissed Imam al-Hussein on his lips." Now enters Zainab al-Kubra in the court of Ibn Ziyad. I cannot explain this any further, but I will try to explain the gravity of the situation by narrating to you what happened to Mirza Shirazi Buzurg. This was a marji of his time. This was the one who banned tobacco on his time, and he is sitting in a majlis, and they say that Sheikh Hassan Ali Taharani is reciting the majlis. Something Sheikh Hassan Ali Taharani says in his majlis that Mirza Shirazi, he takes off his amama and he throws it to the ground and starts crying hysterically. He starts crying and he starts saying, he requests the Sheikh Hassan, he requests, stop, do not say another word, just stop here, do not say another word. You want to know what Sheikh Hassan Ali Taharani had said at that time? He had said, "دخلت زينب على ابن زياد." He said this much, and Mirza Shirazi stopped him immediately. "Do not say another word." Sheikh Hassan says, "Why not? Why not?" And Mirza Shirazi says, "Kuja Zaila, Kuja ibn Ziyad al-Ayn." لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. العالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إلا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Oh Allah, we give you the wasita of the severed head of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. I give you the wasita, we give you the wasita of the time when Zainab had to see the severed head of Abu Abdullah on the feet of Ibn Ziyad while he was striking the lips of Imam al-Hussein with his cane. Oh Allah, we give you the wasita of the time when these mukhaddarat had to continuously see the heads of Imam al-Hussein and Ali al-Akbar and Ali al-Asghar and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas al-Qasim. Oh Allah, we give you the wasita of Ali al-Asghar. We give you the wasita of al-Baneen, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. We give you the wasita of all A'immatul Huda al-Ma'sumin. Oh Allah, all those who have asked us for dua, please accept their dua, their hajat. Oh Kareem Allah, we have heard that wherever there is azah for Imam al-Hussein, the floor becomes the land of Karbala, the roof becomes the dome of Imam al-Hussein. Oh Allah, we sit under the roof where the azah of Imam al-Hussein is being done, and we are praying and we are certain in our du'as that you will not reject our prayers. Oh Allah, those who have asked us for dua for shifa, Kareem Allah, give them shifa, for the true owner of shifa is you, oh Allah. Kareem Allah, Rahim Allah, all those who have asked for dua to have a child in their life, to have a boy in their life, Kareem Allah, accept their prayers and fill their lives with happiness by granting them children, granting a male child to whomever desires, granting both the female child to whomever desires. Kareem Allah, Rahim Allah, forgive our sins. Forgive the sins of our parents, our teachers, our relatives, our friends, our marhumeen. Kareem Allah, for all those who have decided to go for Arba'een, for the Ziyarat of Abu Abdullah. Oh Allah, bless them with success. Bless them with the qabool of hasanat, acceptance of their good deeds. Oh Allah, accept their ibadat, forgive their sins, bring them back in one piece, safe and sound, only better in shape, only beautiful in their souls. Oh Kareem Allah, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, who impatiently awaits his own dhuhur so he can avenge his grandfather Abu Abdullah. Kareem Allah, give us the honor to fight beside him, being close to him, be the ones who love him, be his Shia. Oh Kareem Allah, give us the honor of sacrificing our lives on his feet. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم.